What if the same playfulness that fuels invention also dooms the planet? Beat. Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle turns a dark nursery rhyme into a chilling, hilarious prophecy. Prologue to Catastrophe. Jonah meets Dr. Honecker. Imagine a childlike genius tinkering with the fabric of reality, beat, blissfully unaware or uncaring of the consequences. That is Dr. Felix Honecker, co-father of the atomic bomb and secret creator of Emphasis.ice 9. Through the eyes of the narrator, who whimsically calls himself Jonah, we enter a world where scientific breakthroughs are treated like casual party tricks. Beat. Jonah begins with a simple journalistic goal: to document what scientists were doing on the day the first atomic bomb was dropped. His quest leads him to the Honecker household, where he discovers 3 adult children who carry psychic scars from their father's indifference. Beat. Angela clings to her clarinet and an abusive husband. Franklin retreats to model building and a lonely military career. And the impish Newt paints abstract cat's cradles. The siblings are estranged, yet eternally bound by their inheritance. Sealed envelopes containing crystal flakes of Ice 9, their father's farewell gift. Ice 9 is water's nihilistic cousin, a polymorph that freezes at room temperature and converts any liquid it touches into itself. Beat. With one careless gesture, it could lock every river, ocean, and bloodstream into solid death. Jonah realizes that the Honeckers treat this doomsday weapon with the same detached curiosity they inherited from Felix. The theme of scientific responsibility, or the lack thereof, emerges early. Vonnegut invites us to laugh at the absurdity, then wince when we feel the chill of recognition. Beat. The section ends as Jonah accepts Frank's invitation to visit the obscure Caribbean Republic of San Lorenzo, a place rumored to be as bizarre as any Honecker lab. Jonah's flight path is set, yet he, and we, already sense the skid marks of approaching doom. Throughout these opening chapters, Vonnegut threads gallows humor with social critique. He mocks the pretensions of powers both political and scientific, reminding us that knowledge without empathy is simply high-tech mischief. The prologue leaves us with one pressing question. What happens when humanity's playthings grow up to bury their makers? Bokononism. Sweet lies for a bitter world touch, down in San Lorenzo, where poverty is legendary and hope hangs by a frayed rope over shark-infested seas. Beat. Yet its citizens are oddly serene, devout followers of Bokononism, a religion outlawed on paper but practiced by everyone, including the dictator. Vonnegut introduces a paradox: a faith built on admitted emphasis fabrications, or as Bokonon calls them, FOMA, harmless untruths that make life bearable. Bokononism's sacred texts are playful verses that mix West Indian rhythms with cosmic whimsy. Concepts like Karas, the team of souls who unknowingly collaborate to enact God's will, and Wamputer, the object around which a Karas revolves, create a vocabulary for life's coincidences. Jonah, new to the island, discovers he has been part of the Honecker Karas all along, pulled toward a Wamputer named Ice 9. Beat. The religion's most striking ritual is the Boko Maru. 2 believers press bare feet together to mingle souls. Jonah experiences it with Mona, San Lorenzo's luminous national sweetheart, and feels an erotic, spiritual rush, an affirmation that intimate connection may redeem a broken planet. Yet Vonnegut never lets us forget the absurdity. A totalitarian regime punishes practitioners of the very faith it privately adores. Beat. By spotlighting Bokononism, Vonnegut explores how humans forge meaning where none seems to exist. Science may explain the how of the universe, but faith, however invented, proposes a why that soothes existential dread? Are we better off embracing pleasant fictions? Or should we face reality's scowl head on? The novel refuses easy answers. Instead, it suggests that both religion and science are tools. They cut, they cure, they kill, they comfort. As Jonah spends warm nights beneath San Lorenzo's shabby tin roofs, reading Boccanon's verses by candlelight, he inches toward tragic revelation. The religion's final instruction will later urge him to climb a mountain and find something that convinces you to throw your life away. Beat. But for now, Jonah is content to savor the island's sweet lies, unaware that Ice Nine is already leaking into the ecosystem through careless hands. Laughter at the brink, satire as survival mechanism. Papa Monzano, San Lorenzo's iron-lunged despot, welcomes Jonah with pomp, cruelty, and a giant hook for public hangings. Beat. Vonnegut turns terror into farce. A tiny nation stages a militaristic parade featuring cardboard tanks, while its citizens starve on streets strewn with candy wrappers. Here, humor becomes both deflection and scalpel, slicing open the swollen belly of human folly. Throughout Cat's Cradle, jokes arrive at the morbid moment, like party streamers at a funeral. We chuckle when the US ambassador cracks a corny limerick, only to remember Ice Nine ticks in Angela's purse like a glass grenade. Vonnegut's style teaches us that the funny bone and the grief muscle are anatomically adjacent. Beat. Papa Monzano, dying of cancer, begs Dr. Schlichter von Königswald, an ex-Nazi turned missionary physician, for painless relief. Angela offers him a cured fatality, one bite of Ice Nine to halt his fever. Monzano turns azure, freezes solid, and becomes San Lorenzo's inadvertent martyr. The slapstick horror underscores a grim equation: scientific marvel plus political desperation. Instant catastrophe. Emphasis: satire. Here is not decoration. It's radiation, seeping through every line. The island's infrastructure collapses in a comedic chain reaction. A minor plane crash drops fragments of Ice Nine into the sea. Waves transform into frozen cliffs. Fish suffocate mid-swim. The horizon glints like shattered mirrors. Yet characters cling to jokes even as the planet calcifies. Frank, newly appointed president by a dead dictator's whim, offers Jonah the office so he can elope with an underage girlfriend. Beat. In a perverse twist, leadership is a hot potato no one wants once the spuds turn to stone. Why does Vonnegut insist on making us laugh while the oceans die? The answer: humor is the species' last defense against despair. It keeps our cognitive engines whirring, even as hope stutters. The novel suggests that to confront apocalypse without irony would be to surrender twice, once to doom and once to dullness. The end of the world party. Ice Nine unleashed night falls on San Lorenzo, and humanity's final domino teeters. Beat. A drunken celebration on a seaside terrace ends when a careless toast spills Ice Nine into a rock pool. In minutes, the ocean metamorphoses from rolling black to brittle white, a planetary scab sealing over every secret trench. Jonah and the surviving cast scramble to the island's highest peak, Mount McCabe, their breath crystallizing in the new Ice Age air. Civilization snaps like a twig under frost. Radio signals fall silent, ships halt mid-voyage, and global agriculture withers overnight. The book spares us the worldwide body count, yet paints an intimate ruin. Lovers clutch frozen pets. Mothers thaw snowflakes into tears that freeze mid-cheek. Beat. Frank's models can't map this scale of destruction. Angela's clarinet cracks. Newt's cat's cradle drawing fades to white. Weeks pass in hungry stupor. Jonah, Newt, and a handful of others live on canned pineapple and melted ice 9 heated over sterno. Mona chooses suicide, stepping into the marble sea with a serene smile, convinced that nothing living remains worth saving. Her departure underscores Vonnegut's bleak thesis: when meaning evaporates, so too may the will to persist. Only Boccanon lingers, scribbling final verses on parchment scraps. He proposes the ultimate joke: lie on your back, thumb your nose at God, and turn to pure blue poison, becoming a statue of mockery. Beat. Jonah, tasked by Boccanon's note, climbs Mount McCabe with the last manuscript and a chunk of Ice 9. He sits at the summit, notebook in hand, ready to write a book about the end of the world, or end it further by toppling the crystal into whatever water still lurks underground. In these closing movements, Vonnegut compresses cosmic disaster into a personal decision. Will Jonah preserve the story for some hypothetical future reader, or complete the purification of Earth's misery? The novel freezes on that ambiguity, a cracked snow globe held centimeters from the floor. Vonnegut leaves us staring at our own trembling hands, asking what we might drop next. Emphasis, choice. Itself becomes the final fragile artifact,